Okay, everybody, this is a very old piece I have here, and I'm going to tell you why I know it is an old piece. Um, we'll first look, this is a secretary desk. We'll open it up and we'll give you a peek inside. But first, we'll start out with why I know this is an old piece. If I take my hand and I rub across, it's definitely not, you can feel the planing in it, hand planing or however they did it back then. Nothing is very straight, smooth, it's smooth, but definitely not straight. Also, the edges, you can tell that they were done by hand just by how they're not straight. You can feel the differences in them. Another reason why I know that this is an old piece is by the drawer. The sunflower seed in there. Okay, so you can tell. Usually, the dovetailing is one way of telling. When it's done by hand, it was never, you could see some gappage in there, and it's not like perfect. This was definitely done by hand. The edge is rough. The edge is very rough. And this has all been, you can feel it, it's all been hand planed. And the bottom, turn it over, you can see the staining. And this is all definitely done by hand. Right here, you might be able to see it. It's called chamfering. This is where the drawer bends down, kind of angles down into the drawer. It's done on the front and sides. Something that they used to do before the 1860s, 1850s. They did this even in the 1700s. And again, all the edges are not perfect. They've definitely been hand planed. And even you can see the back of the drawer. If they didn't see it, they didn't really bother with, smoothing out the back of the drawer where it's never going to be seen. So, oops, that is, and you can see the darkness. That's another thing. This, when it's really dark in here, this is dusty, but when this is really dark, it's the way this has been aired and aged. So my guess, this is a prior to an 1800 is my guess what this particular unit is. Again, everything is not 100% perfect. This has some stuff in it. Same thing with the edges. Very neat piece. If somebody, and then they did the rounded edges in the 1700s. That was very popular for wear, so it wouldn't wear as quick. Like the edges would get beat up. And another thing that gives this away is the thickness of the wood. On the side, that's really thick. They used old wood, matured wood, and that is definitely, and you can tell it's done by hand just by how not so like machined. It's definitely done by hand. You could feel it. So, incredible piece. This is like something you look at, kind of looks a little worn, which it is. And this one, the way this didn't have the thing, you used the drawers to hold up the other piece. And it definitely was used. There is gouges in here, and this wood is really dark. Another sign of real old aging. Incredible. And again, there's the side of how thick the wood was, and that's not machined. That's done by a hand plane there too. and the tops are pinned in. Incredible piece, just incredible. I love this thing. It's another find in this old house that we have here, and we got some more stuff to show you. Found some other incredible stuff. What I like you to do is subscribe so I can continue to do this, and like this post and on YouTube, and definitely subscribe, because I got some, I'm going to be showing people how to tell old furniture, old antiques from fakes too, because there's a lot out there that you think you would be buying and think it's an antique when it's not. So I'm going to give you some information about that. So have a good day. We'll see you again on Antique Roadhouse Show.